Did you hear that Taylor Swift is lip syncing her songs at her concerts? Whoa. Somebody sent me a video. Let's discuss the video and let's talk about the pros and cons of lip syncing. Okay, let's get into it here. So, this channel is Wings of Pegasus. Let's go ahead and subscribe and like, and I think you'll understand by the end of the video. He does some cool analysis. Now, I'm going to let you all go and check out his video yourself. We're not going to sit here through the entire thing, but the title is Taylor Swift's 2 billion tour revenue for miming. So I assume miming is lip syncing. So here he goes into, well, let's just see for a few minutes.
Data here. So what I have done is taken one song from her tour and we're going to listen to multiple performances of that song from different shows around the world, and I've isolated the vocals, run them through the pitch monitoring software, so we're looking at objective pitch data millisecond by millisecond to show whether her vocal is indeed the same audio file being played back at every show, or at least the shows that we have here, or whether she's performing and singing fully live and every single one of the performances is a new live vocal. So we're going to listen now to...
Okay, so this is pretty cool. This guy actually does an analysis of different recordings of Taylor Swift from different concerts on her European tour. So he goes over the different sounds, and he notes that the audio recordings have the plosives. Let me see what he says.
We have a plosive. It sounds like on the P we have the air hitting the mic. That's what a plosive is.
Okay, so he's saying that the recording the recordings that he's analyzing have these plosives, which is something that would come when you're singing live, right? So that would support the side that, you know, Taylor Swift is not lip syncing. Then later, what he does, he starts
Looking
doing
to build a chatbot for your website.
Let's go through an ad. Ads for you and ads for me. Okay, so here, let's pause. So he starts to go into the waveforms of a show from, I think, Liverpool, and then a show from Tokyo, and then a promo video. And what he finds, you know, he talks about his experiment, and then he talks about comparing the waveforms, and he comes to a conclusion that that the audio is the same file. Let's see what he says.
Same audio that's being mimed to. It is one vocal that's been pre-recorded before all of these performances that Taylor is then miming to. So,
okay, so Wings of Pegasus has just put out an analysis, a waveform analysis. Now, could he be lying? Sure, maybe he faked the waveforms. Maybe he pre-rendered everything for himself. But look, this guy's got almost 500,000 subscribers. I'm sure he gets paid big bucks by YouTube to do what he does. He has no reason to lie to people about something like this. So for the moment, you know, I'll take him at his word for the sake of discussion. His analysis shows that Taylor Swift was using a pre-recorded audio track where she was not singing over top of it, and it was made to sound like a live performance, like it had the plosive in it, as if she was actually singing. Now, let me see the song here.
all playing.
You couldn't pick me up, no headlights. Long drive.
Okay, that's pretty close. I wanted to just make a note about that. That was from her song Style. That song is probably my favorite Taylor Swift song. I don't remember the words. I remember the groove of the song. I remember the vibe. I remember playing that album like 8 times in a row, driving down to Florida in the middle of the night um, with my family. It was incredible. Just hearing when I started watching the video, I just kind of scanned through the first couple minutes of it, and I heard that this was the song they were analyzing in order to figure out if she was lip syncing to it. It kind of broke my heart because I'm like, man, this is my favorite song by her, and this is the one she chose to not sing and to pretend that she was singing. I don't know. That just so that got to me. So I'm gonna we liked and subscribed to the video. I'm gonna recommend everybody go check it out, and you can kind of judge for yourself. I guess he measures from Lisbon, Tokyo, Liverpool, and then I guess from a promo video. Um, it got me thinking about it though. What are the pros and cons? Is it really a big deal that somebody is lip syncing in a live performance? Um, one of the rationales that I had heard was that, oh, well, um, she has to uh, save her voice, right? And certainly, if you're preserving your voice, if you're not singing as much every night, you're going to be able to sing more shows, more nights, and entertain more people overall. And that's great. That's a good thing. So I just wanted to, my recollection from growing up and going to concerts was, I remember a good number of bands that I would see play for, 2.5, 3.5 hour shows. And these were people that, I mean, they went hard. They sang hard. Bands like Ozzy Osbourne, bands like Van Halen, bands like Metallica, they would come and do these monster tours. They would be on tour for half a year, and they would be playing 3.5 hour shows. So, and they managed to do it without any lip syncing, no pretending. It was all real. As a fan, if I had gone to one of these shows and I had paid, and I heard some people are paying thousands of dollars for tickets, and not even like front row tickets, just like back of the arena tickets. If I had paid 4 or 5 grand to go with some friends or my family to the concert, and this was the song that was lip synced, even if she sang other songs, I would have personally been disappointed because this was my favorite song. So that makes me a little bit upset. Um, why not try some other things to do to save your voice? When Van Halen used to do it, do their 3.5 hour shows, every member of the band got solos, and the solos weren't amazing. I mean, Michael Anthony getting up and pounding on his bass, it was awesome. It wasn't revolutionary, but it broke up the wall of rock, and it gave Sammy, their singer, it gave him a chance to save his voice, right? So you could have your band members do solos. Uh, John Bon Jovi, when Bon Jovi used to play, and yes, I've seen them multiple times. I love them. They're a great band, and he's a great performer. He would just put his mic out, and as soon as you put the mic out, the whole crowd starts singing. And I'm sure Taylor Swift probably could have had the entire arena singing the song style, and she wouldn't have had to sing any word. She could just hold the mic out and let everybody sing it. And that to me is more real and more organic, right? Like the show that I would want to see when I go see a music performance, I want to see them perform their music. I want to see them actually play it. I don't just want to see them pretend to do it. I want there to be live mistakes. Sometimes a live mistake is what you use to make the next song, right? Why would you deprive yourself or the audience of those moments? Now, the counter argument. One time we had to leave from, I think, one of the Oz Fests. It was a metal festival. We left early because the headliner, Ozzy Osbourne, sounded horrible. Like it wrecked my vision. He was like a godlike rock figure to me at the time, and it wrecked my view of him to hear him not be able to sing these songs for 2.5, 3 hours straight like I had heard previously. So, in that situation, in my mind, if Ozzy had had a backing vocalist sing and he had sung on top or with the vocalist, I would have understood that and that would have felt good. At least if he was trying and maybe they could lower his mic a little bit and have the backup singer sing better, I would have accepted that and I would have felt okay. But just hearing Ozzy really falter, he just had a really bad night. We actually left early. It's like I don't want to hear this. It kills the whole view. It kills the facade, right? It kills my rock idol. So certainly if Taylor Swift, if it came down to it and you had to do it, maybe you're playing through sickness, maybe this is only something she had because she was ill for these shows or something else was going on. She had laryngitis or her some kind of throat problem and she just played through it and this is how she did it. I get that. I understand that. But man, from my point of view, from what I've seen and heard, she's young. Seems like she's still in her prime vocally. Her songs are amazing and well written, but they're not vocally. It doesn't seem like they're that tough to do. And certainly she can break things up, right? She can talk, she could play piano, play acoustics, bring some other people out there to solo and do their own thing to give your voice a break, but still make it real for the audience instead of doing the whole corporate fake thing, right? It just feels like right now it's more about being real and organic and just out there in front of people instead of being, fully done up with everything perfect and all the millions and billions of dollars of everything behind you. It's more just about going out there and doing it and being real with the people. Um, at least, I didn't have the money to go out and see her. I certainly would have if it was a little more affordable, but that's all I would be looking for is just somebody to go up and give their best effort to sing and perform their music, at least the lead vocals, right? Um, so, I again, I wanted to reiterate, I completely understand the reasons for doing it. I know Van Halen, Eddie used to record. He claims that he recorded them every night, but I'm sure it was probably, every couple of nights or maybe every week. He would record the backing pianos, the backing keys for every show. And those would be piped through and you knew they didn't have a keyboard player on stage. You heard the keys coming through and everybody was fine with it cuz Ed was still there jamming out doing his thing. And man, Eddie had good nights, Eddie had bad nights. Um some nights he, drank too much, or some nights he was just like ticked off and just totally in the zone, and you could just hear like the frantic or the anger or the emotion coming through his playing. Some nights he was just super happy and totally in the zone. Um, but you wanted to just hang with Eddie and watch him play and it didn't matter. It didn't have to be perfect, right? Obviously, you wanted it to be above a certain threshold. The guy was just one of a kind, and he could do things that other people just can't do with a certain vibe and a certain groove. It didn't have to be perfect. It was just about him going out and trying it and trying to make it sound great. And man, I'd say he hit it. He hit it out of the ballpark. I never left a show of his feeling disappointed, ever, not a single time. And they were far from perfect. He made many mistakes, had off nights, and generally mostly flawless execution. But um, So I wish Taylor Swift would not lip sync. I understand why she would, need to, just as part of the flow of getting through a monster concert for an extended period of time and providing 3 hour sets to people. But man, I don't know. I don't know what's worth it or not, right? Like I don't know all the specifics behind booking shows, and if she says, okay, I'm gonna do it with my voice, but we have to cancel a third of the shows, is that really worth it, right? But again, damn, why not just have the audience sing it, or why not have play it through the speakers, have background singers sing it, and you just kind of you know I don't know. It just feels like there's a way to organically be with the audience, be real to the audience, and not have to pretend something like that. I recall, I think the band Queen, when they would play, they had an orchestra or a symphony section, or some sort of um, operatic section, and they did not have a full string accompaniment on stage, so they would all leave the stage and let the music play for those portions. So there was never it was never an attempt to deceive or pretend that they were singing or performing the parts. They just kind of left and let the audience soak in the music. So I wonder if there isn't a way that you could do something like that. um, but man, sing the song Style. Man, that's my favorite song. You got to sing that one. That would be like the only one I wanted to hear, just you doing it. I guess if the lip syncing and everything was the production was good enough that I didn't know that it wasn't real, it wouldn't matter. Then I would feel fine. I'm okay with that. But then you got people on YouTube like Wings of Pegasus, and they're doing analysis, and people hear about it. So anyway, I think that's all I had for this week. Um, let me see what we have here. Okay. So we've had a brief discussion about the pros and cons of lip syncing. And I'm not torn one way or the other. I don't think it would completely wreck a show for me if Taylor Swift were to do that. It's just I'm a little bit surprised. And I do feel like where she's at and where the songs are at, I feel like she should be able to make it through a 3 hour set, given breaks and given interludes and given some of the other ways that I mentioned that other artists have done it. I think it would be possible, but I am happy that she's out there doing her thing, and I'm happy that a ton of people have been able to see her and experience the show. So anyway, that's all we had. Thank you, everyone. Stay healthy, stay happy, and remember, be massive.